Dr. Hughes invites followers. Oh, let's see if they increase now. Me too. Yeah, wow. Dr. Hughes.
Mock-ass mocks.
He's a great podcaster.
Trick-ass mocks.
Acknowledge me.
We coming for you, nigga. Fat!
Yeah, Dr. Hughes, here we go. Keep plugging yourself, that's cool.
You!
First up, a man whose looks will serve your inner needs and desires.
Dr. Hughes.
Oh, can you hear me out there? I better double, triple check. Yeah, we're trying this out. It is very wonky. As you can see there, I got a background on my intro video. We're going to have to work with all this. Zoom in on me. Holy mackerel. We're going to have other pictures up. We'll be talking about Oscar. And hold on, I'm double checking, make sure my mic works. Danny might be joining us in a few. Test. Wow, we look amazing. We look great. So we're trying out the portrait view today for our, online live streaming and replay viewers. No sleaze today. Possibly Danny damage. And I've been asking people here and there of all different, places online. Hey, would you like to come on? Generally in the comedy scene, that's what we do. Get off my screen, Oscar. Get liking, get subscribing. Thank you very much. This might be actually a good view for everybody. My ticker kind of sucks now because there's going to be writing over it and whatnot. I don't know. Again, I hope you're all joining us for this ride here. Because I'm hosting, I'm producing, I got the lighting, I'm a grip over here. We're doing it all, Paladin. Shout out to you, bro. One of the greatest, the GOATs in the HUGEnverse. A HUGEnverse megastar. Let's do some yeeting. Let's get warmed up for the next couple hours of me just ranting and raving. I got videos to show you. I got clips. It's all working today.
Yee.
Let's go. Everything's working. It's amazing. For the first time ever, let's turn myself up a little bit more in my headphones. Yep. So wrestling, other random news. Chud the Builder. He's pretty hot out here these days. We're going to have to look into this Chud the Builder guy and what's been going on with him. Everybody's very upset, myself included. This Triple H business here, TKO, whatever you want to call it, right? It is, it's a sad state of affairs. I don't really want to talk about the shows since I'm not watching them and I only watch the highlights. And the highlights aren't very good. Let's face it. Bret Hart, you know what it is.
It's the shits.
Mm-hmm. Roman Reigns, you know what it was.
It was the shits.
There we go. It's the shits. Pro wrestling, not very good these days. It's too corporate. They won. The corporate ministry won long ago. We all know this. Triple H is now being used. He's just a vessel there. He's just a container. He's just a guy walking around acting like he's running things, but he ain't really running things. Not creatively, and that's where it counts the most. Get liking and retweeting, subscribing, whatever. Wherever I am, I'm all over the place. I think we're on Kick right now with all the kids and Booty Diddy Jackson. You know Booty Diddy Jackson, don't you? Do you know this guy? You know the BBQ one? That's what he's called around here. Can you believe Sasha Reigns, longtime listener of the Dr. Huge show, very involved in the pro wrestling. She came into one of my video game streams the other day and went, Cody Rhodes is boring. I'm bored, Doc. He's very, very boring. And I've been saying this for a while. He is boring. He's this super over baby face, very, very, like, I'm the good guy. Everybody's begging for him to be heel, just like they did with John Cena many years ago. You saw how that went, right? But the BBQ one, the only use I have for him are my promo edits. Go check those out on the Dr. Huge Show YouTube channel. Only there. And maybe some other places, but forget about those places. Subscribe to the Dr. Huge Show today. We got interviews and all kinds of wackiness going on in the future. More on that later. Back to this BBQ1. You know, Cody Rhodes. He likes to suck a lot of air in his promos. Very unbelievable stuff, even to the people younger, that may believe in some of these works and shoots. Not Dr. Huge. I don't even believe in the shoots, bro. So whatever he's selling, Cody Rhodes, I'm not buying it. I think a lot of other people are getting bored with it. And it made me think, there's people online that are going, hey, look out for the rest of the year. What if he goes up against Jacob and goes up against this guy and this guy? And they lay out all the pay-per-views of the year of Cody Rhodes as a champion versus his opponent. And then it ends with CM Punk at WrestleMania next year. And I'm telling you,
it's the shits.
I've had enough of this Cody Rhodes as champion. This is crazy. This is some crazy, crazy business here. They can't make stars anymore. I don't believe Roman Reigns is a star. I don't care if he's in Street Fighter with Cody Rhodes and they're doing all these B and C movies and remakes of everything. I don't care. They're not The Rock. They're not Stone Cold. And I get it. Those guys aren't coming back, right? But what the fuck, TKO? I thought you liked money. Try to get some money out. This is real. You've lost me. You're losing Sasha Reigns. And then I foresee them losing their money a little bit. Like it's going to start dipping down. People are going to be a little less interested, I hope. Because if not, then, this is the world is like Idiocracy, man. It is crazy. Also, another movie I can put in place of that is The Running Man. I watched the remake of The Running Man. I love the old one. The remake, everybody was like, it's trash. Don't even bother watching it. It was actually pretty good. If you can look at it, you're in a universe in the future with a bunch of dumb fucks, right? Have you noticed everybody in that movie was stupid? It was Idiocracy with a bunch of action movie stuff. So I'm cool with that. But I'm just saying, watch out, because, with the gambling sports and the way pro wrestling is on every single night of the week and, how these people won't, share my show or hit the like button, you just know everything's going downhill. And social media is not real. Nothing's real anymore. We're going to bring up news story. Who knows if anything's real? Don't take my word for anything, okay? All I know is they're out here saying Rhea Ripley here is the face of the WWE. They're putting her on the posters for Netflix and all this. So, that's breaking news, right? I think we got some breaking news with that.
This is breaking news.
Rhea Ripley, the face of the WWE. That was a story this week by a guy that blocks me in the wrestling media. That could be a million different people, right? But we all know who I'm talking about. If you're from around here, if you're a smart mark. It is breaking news. What happened to Coach? I hope Coach is all right. I remember seeing Coach every week in the chat here. What happened to you? Are you at the pool yet? Usually he's scolding with me. We're over here doing the bubbly.
A little bit of the bubbly.
He asked for Kiana James pictures here and there. Do we have what? I think I took it down. Yeah, I had to reform all of this business on my stream. So, yep. Speaking of this stream, right, and streaming in general, our pal, right, Stuttering John really hasn't left the Dabbleverse. More on this later. Yeah. They keep trying to pull me back in. So John is no longer in the Dabbleverse, and he's the head dabbler. The Quartering, I don't know if you've heard of him, but he is now all in my Dabbleverse. in a lot of the podcasts and comedy things that I listen to online. More like drama stuff. Not so much comedy, really. They're not yucking it up so much over there instead of being mean, nasty, and causing trouble. So they want me to get involved in all the problems and the lawsuits and right, and the street fights that they have, like Kumia and that guy with the glasses. He took off and he threw him on the ground, and the issues going on and all the little cliques forming. I don't give a fuck. I really don't care. I'm kind of watching it as like a big goof with the rest of the normies in the chat. I'm no casual, but I am a normie still. I'm not getting involved in all that. But they want me to deny that I'm other people and things and join their lives and all. I don't want to join their lives. I don't want to be in your life. Get it? So that's how that works. Thank you. And Stuttering John, how dare you trash me still? And you might as well stay away, right? I heard you're flagging other people again or taking down their channels or videos. I don't know. I don't care. I think this whole thing's run its course. And am I completely done with it? No. But right now, I think we're kind of done with it. There's no juice to be squeezed in the Dabbleverse at the minute. I'm still hating on this pro wrestling and the rest of the world that has changed drastically in the past 7 years. Think about that. People are ordering their food all the time from anywhere and everywhere, from 7-Elevens. We really weren't doing this, several years ago. So major changes. It stinks. Art stinks of all kinds. You hear about that Odyssey? Oh, my God. I'd love to hear Danny's take on it. I'm sure he loves it. How Travis Scott is going to be, one of the poets or whatever it's all Greek mythology and stuff, right? Or is it? But I mean, don't you want like Greek people in it maybe? Nobody wants this. Nobody wants Travis Scott and little chicks as the top warriors in the world. It's just, what have we come to? Is this Trump's America, folks? Is it? And we can maybe even watch some videos. Let's watch some videos right now. Let's see how this works. First time in the portrait view. Tell me if you guys like it or if you don't like it. I don't know. So what do we got? What we got? We got to go over here, and then where's my thing? All right, there's my thing. And then you just fucking wait. You don't worry about me over here and what I'm doing. No, just give me the window. Yes. Look at that. We're on the Twitter. Oh, no. Don't look at my likes. My bookmarks here. So, unbelievable stuff. I mean, this work right here. We're going to be jumping all over the place today, but... Oh, okay, you can't see it. Let's put it right like this. All right, that's cool. That works. Huh? We're doing it. We're killing it right now. So, get to my likes. And there's MKE. I don't know how he does this. So he's talking, the stream's going, everybody's doing great, right? Oh, we got Trump here. I was just about to talk about that. Look at him in his little chair. Look at the little chair. So the disrespect to our boy, our POTUS, right? So, yeah. And if you're new here, We don't love Trump. We don't hate Trump. We don't love any of these politicians. We get it. We definitely get it. I don't know about the rest of you guys. Some of you, I know there's many out here, they don't get it. They think, maybe we just got to vote better. How about this guy? Eating in the supermarket and then putting the stuff back. But then, again, it was very sad at the end because it looked like he had an elderly mother or something, caretaker, pulling him away. So I'm sure he's just not with it. You understand? And the data centers and the Harvey Weinsteins, right? Like, how does this go, like, under the radar as far as, like, mainstream media, that this was a mistrial for him? Not saying he is full-on guilty. I don't know. I don't really care, to be honest. But, I care about one thing. This is the guy. This guy's week here. Because I only found out about him a week ago. Remember, Philly Sports Pride was in the chat. And he was telling us about the chudster here running around, harassing blacks and, trying to get some content going and all this stuff. And I mean, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right? So he won some stupid prizes, trying to chase that clout. And yeah. Now we got another issue of he's an evil supervillain and he must be locked up or something must be done about him. And then we got the people that are like, he's just using his First Amendment rights. I mean, which is like, come on, if you're playing this game, like, or you're a stupid idiot and you're forcing me to drink right now.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Mm-hmm. You're not a fan of the portrait view? Yeah. I don't think I am either. But I figured, since I'm doing a solo today, that we'll give it a shot here. And, short show, right? Just like KB used to say. I don't know if he says it anymore, but short show today. I could be jumping on Whatnot, selling items like a mofo. So beware of that later. Be on the lookout for that. But as far as this, I have a ton of notes. It's just Danhausen, Braun Breaker. Do I want to talk about these people? Ronda Rousey and how she's being kind of a douche. I don't really want to talk about it today. Here's a positive thing. We did reach 500 subscribers, so shout out to you guys and all the subscribers. Very nice day today and tomorrow. So I know there'll be a lot of replay viewers. Shout out to you guys, and you made it all happen. You're the icons. You're the best in the world. Let's give you a best in the world and play with some samples.
The best in the world.
Do you watch on PC, Paladin? I'm doing a whole focus group today. And they really do. The 2020s are brutal. 2010s weren't good either, but the 2020s, yuck. I mean, you can't really, there's nothing to comment on, critique anymore. It stinks. We know it stinks. End of story. So I guess maybe we all need to start reading more. Here's a news item. So artificial intelligence can actually like kill your brain cells after only like 10 minutes of use. It makes you dumber. So I've heard that in multiple places, but then who knows if that's even real? Who knows? But one thing I do know is the data center thing is real, and it needs to be stopped. Right? Hot take. Look at me going out on a limb, Paladin. Don't come get me, billionaires, with all my influence around here. So, yep, this stream is dedicated to people on their phones. I don't know if people are watching on their phones or where they watch. I got to look at my analytics. I got to get some AI bots for myself and for the show, apparently. Catch up with the Joneses. I'm sure that's what everybody does out here in the game here. It's unbelievable to me that anybody gives a fuck about the quartering at this point. Like, I don't care. I just don't care about, these big dramas, and they try to suck everybody in. And sure, I talked about it for like a half hour earlier last week, but it's just so in our faces and pushed out there. I guess people are interested, but the Friday Night Tights and these nerdy people that do similar things to Dr. Huge, let's face it, that, shit on all kinds of new Marvel films and comic books. And I like all that stuff, but hey, I got my own opinions, right? I don't have to listen to Chrissy Mayer or any of these other people because I know they're in it for the grift, right? Like, I'm one of the real deals over here, as you can see. I'm not in it for the grift, even though, I'm not against grifting. You see, Reb Shot. This portrait orientation is unbecoming. Yep, the people don't like it. It's good to know, though, because I have to spend so much more money to then do the landscape and the portrait view. And then there were comics talking about this earlier in the week, and they're like, I got so many views just for trying the portrait view up front, which is kind of cool. Who knows? Maybe I'll have inflated numbers from this. Trial and error over here. That's how we're doing it. But we did reach 500 subscribers. Holy shit. Give me some holy shits. We rarely pat ourselves on the back over here, but I think that deserves a congratulatory sip, some likes, and who knows, maybe even a share. If we ever get a share from people some days, maybe The Rock will share this, and then boom. We'll be right on the WWE podcasting streams with Logan Paul and all the rest of them. And I can tell them right to their faces that they're the worst. Let's do it. I'm not scared of them. Why? Because he is boxer? Because he thinks he is boxer? And that other guy with the enormous nose that loves Jay-Z and Biggie, right? Right. Cool. That's right. We're doing it. It's Fact Jack. We're speaking it into existence. Remember we only had 200 and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I've been doing this for 6 months, only 200. And then it just starts rolling and rolling and rolling. Like the Limp Bizkit song. Yep. And now we're on to 1,000, 2,000, 1 million. All organic, no bot views. Thank you very much. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's give some different looks, like Bill Belichick. So, okay, what's some other news? In this very short show, you never know, I could wrap it up any second. So Jake Paul, he claims TKO banned him from WWE, and that is totally believable. Very believable. Because Jake Paul, we know what he is, right?
It's the shits.
It's the shits. He's Logan Paul's dumber brother, in my expert opinion. He puts on these boxing exhibitions, or if you want to call it that. And he got smoked in his last one verse. I mean, a world champion. Come on. You really thought you were going to hang with a world champion? He didn't. It was a cash grab. He needed to get knocked out. He didn't know he was going to get knocked out like that and have his whole face fucked up. But he got knocked out nonetheless. And now the gimmick and the work is still fresh and believable to the marks out here. Because again, listen, I've been a long-time wrestling fan. A lot of us understand the world is all one big work. But there are many people that don't know that the Jake Paul thing is not in the up and up. Like really in their hearts. They may say it, but they don't really know. And they banned you too? Rib Shot from WWE, and they banned the West Side Gun, the Fly God. How dare you? He's actually one of the good rappers. He should be involved in WWE. And you, what? Now he's all AEW now, and that's it? That's some. So, Fly God, RIP to you, as far as the WWE goes.
Rest in peace.
And Rib Shot. And who knows if I ever go back to one of those shows. I've been speaking so lowly of them the past year or so that they might kick me out too. Imagine getting $5,000 seats and get kicked out. Whew. I would be so fucking mad.
It's the shits.
Mm-hmm. And apparently Mike Tyson was offered a bonus if he lost to Paul, Ripshot says. Sounds like Fact Jack to me. Everything's so phony. And it's funny because I'm starting to see more and more podcasts. They're catching up to old Dr. Huge over here. Like, this is the main issue. Everything's fake. And even the movies, like we just talked about the Odyssey a minute ago, and everybody's all pumped to see this movie from the famous director, what is it, Christopher Nolan? I don't know. But, you're putting rappers in certain roles and ladies and as like your mean badass soldiers in one of the oldest stories like ever in human history. Like, they're just fucking everything up on purpose. It's on purpose. So nobody wants it. Nobody likes it. And again, it takes the wind out of my sails as far as critiquing it, goofing on it, having fun with this thing, because they phased me out. I'm not watching the shows anymore. They're just doing the same thing over and over again. So I'm going to do the same thing over and over? I can't. That's not fun. It's not funny, right? So others get it, like Asuka, right? Asuka gets it. That's why she's out of here. And I don't foresee her coming back unless they like give her a boatload of money in the future. And my guess is she left because they released Kairi Sane. They're like, we're going to, save some money releasing Kairi Sane, who is super over right now, in the middle of a storyline with Asuka that everybody likes. And we're not going to finish it. We're not going to do anything with it. We're just going to kick her to the curb. And then there's reports that say, oh, she wanted to go back home or whatever. And it's like, I don't believe that. And she even came out and said that wasn't really the case. So TKO is moving weird with our wrestlers, their performers. And I think Asuka just had enough of it. She did her last match with Io, and now until when, right? And then her past year's been strange too, where Asuka was acting very like scared and skittish of the fans and very worried about people acting like, oh, I want to marry Asuka and she's great and all this. She's like, no. It was almost like she was taking it very literal, where I think in most cases, people are just saying things online and whatever, and maybe they're even saying it in real life. And these people are going into airports and running up to their Ubers and swarming these people. You guys are insane. Leave them alone. Maybe wave if you have to, and maybe she'll be like, But you guys are weirdos, and it's only getting worse because, again, we're living in idiocracy. We're getting close to the Running Man. I say we're about 4 years away from the Running Man being acceptable TV. Them actually like wiping people out live. So There's that. Get out, Oscar, like that movie from the Key and Peele guys, or the Peele guy. How about that story, huh? Oh, get off my screen. What's going on here? Uh-oh, we got Danny Damage in the building. Let's see if you fit on the screen. Look at that.
Hello. Oh,
my goodness. Look at that.
that's new.
Yep, we're trying the portrait out today. Everybody seems to not like it. Even though right up front, when I started the show, I had like 30 viewers like immediately. So that was cool. So I think it wants people to use it to force it into the feed. So if you do lives, give it a try, because, you know, who knows? Maybe you can make them stick. They just look at me and they're like, nope, not listening to this guy. You know, you understand, Danny, right? Many different reasons.
Yeah, it looks all right from here. If we're not watching something else, it's just two people chatting, This looks fine.
That's right. How do these pictures look? Let's see. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's okay. But then I got to spend another $50 if I want the landscape view with this view. So I have to pick one or the other. So that's why we're doing this today. Yep.
$50 just to get the what is normal to a lot of places.
It goes up so high. You know, they're like, you can get the basic plan, right? And then instantly the other plan is like way fucking more.
Right, yeah. It's one of those shit storms. Sorry, I'm just trying to find my other light.
That's fine.
My bad. I rushed
Paladin
on.
says Odyssey is probably going to be dookie. Probably.
It's the shits.
It's already the shits. It's dead on arrival to me. And I'm not some big, I love the Odyssey movie guy or whatever, but I just understand the concept. And black people don't want this. Gay people don't want this either. Everybody wants everything to like go to normal, where you can stay with certain stories of things and have like Greek people in it, right, Danny?
Yeah, it's fucking silly. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that they did the other Troy film where they had someone that looked spot on. I don't know the actress's name. I don't really keep up with that many of them, but yeah, it's everywhere though. It's like comic books and video games, and just it's too much. And like you say, the sort of like rational sort of like thinking people from each of those groups is like, what's this? There wasn't like some random black guy just going around behaving like this in like Japan. It's like there was a guy in history, but not how that Assassin's Creed game, for example, sort of like depicted it. And now again with this Odyssey, they just wanted things to just be normal, and the ratios that they were before were sort of like quite obvious. You know, like the A-Team was like 1 in 4, Ghostbusters 1 in 4. And I remember quite a lot of things like that, and it was already sort of like quite obvious that people in television and that were making an effort to sort of like be like, hey, look, you know, everyone's got like a random black friend in their groups nowadays, and that's perfectly normal and fine. And when they're just now going through history, not just things like Jackie Brown, for example, not as many people know this, it's based on a book called Rum Punch, which is, I believe, Puerto Ricans, but because Quentin Tarantino has a proclivity for a certain group of people, he was like, I'm just going to make this black. And it's just...
He loves the N-word more than anybody, I think. He's like up there with Chud the Builder.
He does. He loves it. So I was going to say, it's not just like they've taken a book and been like, oh, we're just going to give it like a different spin from a different group of people. This is going through like historical sort of events, and we have a lot of this shit over here with like a lot of English history. Kids have been taught that like black people were like everywhere, and it's like, there were some, but not like what you're trying to like normalize and sort of like lie about. Just that's not history. That's revisionist history. Just say what it was, and that's that. We'll deal with it.
Yep, it'd be like them doing a movie, say, like 40 years from now, when the pendulum swings back, and they're like, here's LeBron James and Michael Jordan, and they're all like white guys.
Or me moving to India and wanting to be an actor and being sort of like, oh no, I want to be in one of these Bollywood films and I want to be the main character, and I'm gonna be portrayed as like, this is what happened. It's like, you wouldn't do it. It's daft.
Yeah, the video games, the movies, the comics, like every form of entertainment has been messed with especially, and then, of course, you know, the Friday Night Tights people and all these people, I'm sure, talk about it ad nauseum. I don't even have to watch because, like I said, I can do it myself along with Danny, where it's like,
It's selective over there. When it's things they know, it's, oh, that's naughty. Chewbacca's fur sort of like brush to the right, not brush to the left. Don't change things. But then, sorry, I'm saying how obscure
right,
sort of like things they'll point out. But then when it's things like the One Piece live action and they have no fucking idea what that's actually meant to look like, they're like, oh well, I enjoyed it, so it's good that Fresh Eyes enjoyed it, isn't it? Because that's going to get me into the thing. And it's like, but that's the fucking same thing as when they do it to Star Trek or whatever you get upset about. So yeah, it's a little selective.
and I'm afraid many of these people online, they get caught up in the grift, and the biggest grift of them all is getting put under the umbrella of a corporation. So it's like whatever project they do, it's like, well, I can't say anything bad, I can't say anything negative about this, and it has to be 100%. Like over here, any of my opinions, I'm completely unbiased with everything. It's just that's what I think, and that's how it should be for everybody else. But that's why everything's so fucking milk toast out here, especially in critic verse or whatever, where people are talking about entertainment. Because you know the Fresh Eyes thing, there is something to it. Because I hear about how so many movies are bad, and then I watch it and I'm like, it's not really bad. You have a couple moments that they clipped out and then they like harp on it, but then the rest of it is actually not too bad. I mean, by the standard of what we're going by these days, because listen, the 15 plus years ago, that time is not coming back, where like video games were pinnacle and looking amazing and were fluid, and the movies were not all just reruns and prequels and sequels and things. It was just that time's not coming back. The old wrestling's not coming back. This is what it is now, the corporate slop. So we kind of have to figure out what's the best out of the worst. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I do think like a natural sort of like pushback to that will appear, and sort of like something more organic will arise again. But at the moment, the markets are just flooded. They're just absolutely flooded. And the 2 years where everyone stayed at home for no particular reason and locked indoors, that, as we've said before, that added to that big time, because everyone just did it out of boredom, or did it because they wanted to do it for a while, and it's like, well, I've got the reason to now. So not everybody that came from that time is like crap, but a lot of people just had to go for the sake of it.
Yep. Normie combat, huh? You didn't see that, right?
No.
How about any of the recent Marvel movies?
The last one, let me think. The last one I saw at the cinema, at the theatre, was fucking Endgame. Anything else that I've caught has just been like, when I've been somewhere and it's like at a hotel and it's like, oh, we've got a couple of hours to kill. What have they got on the on-demand thing? I can't even think which one what I've watched from like start to finish.
So you never saw Black Widow or...
No, didn't see Black Widow. I would have watched it before Endgame, but then after Endgame, it's just like, it's moot.
Fantastic Four. Did you see that one? That's a big bridger, supposedly, to all the new stuff that's happening.
No, I saw the trailer and I saw who they were pushing as like the main character, and it's like, obviously that's the main reason they're pushing that film is for what's his face. Mr. Touchy-feely, right. Gets a bit creepy close. And obviously the story that they pushed in it, which may happen in real life. Who knows?
Well, so a giant Galactus entity is going to come and eat our Earth?
Just alien attack brings us together.
Right.
Or at least a perceived alien attack.
I mean, we've had that a trillion times over, though. That movie and vampires. For whatever reason. A lot of vampire movies. I think there's more vampire movies than anything else. Don't hold me to that.
Zombies. I think there's probably more zombie films now.
Like, I think this is a fact, though. I think there's more movies, and this was from a fact that supposedly I learned like 20 years ago, that there were more vampire movies made than any other genre of anything ever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and it kind of does make sense, right? If we're ruled by vampires. Right? Get it? Right, John? Where's my John Cena at? I don't know. We got to get more lubed up so we can be a little bit funny today, Danny. There's nothing funny going on around here, so I'm trying. We're gonna get it going. Funny juice.
It is tiresome though, just like going through like old comics and then sort of like seeing how they used to do things, and just sort of like the adverts that they'd have were like kind of wholesome. Like, do like on the back of like the Marvel and DC, you'd get like little air rifle sort of adverts, BB guns and stuff like that. And now it's just M&Ms and Coca-Cola and watch this shit version of a live action film. Now watch it. And it's on the back of every single one. And they're just so aggressive. And if you ever bother to flick through them, it's like wrestling. It's just fucking adverts every like 3 seconds of entertainment. And
I mean, comics always
entertainment's used lightly.
Yeah. That's the other thing. The advertisements have just taken over all the entertainment. Even on YouTube. I try to watch the highlights again today of SmackDown last night. There's one segment of Trick Williams, and it was half the highlight. And then in the middle of that, they hit me with 6 ads. So 2 up front, then another 2 when he hit the ring, then like from his entrance, then in the middle of his promo. So 6 ads, and you have to skip through them, of course, because I'm not paying YouTube. Again, YouTube should be paying me. This is crazy. But we did reach 500 subscribers, Danny. We did it.
Nice.
Finally. And we're now shooting for watch hours. So I got to do more shows during the week. I have to put out more videos, because that's the only way you can keep people's attention anymore. If only I came up with this idea 20 years ago. Like the day YouTube came out and I started making a channel, they would be the size of Mr. Beast right now. But we're getting close. Little by little, I'm catching you, Mr. Beast. 6 ads. Give it a try sometimes, Paladin. Try to watch anything from WWE, and I think it's funny how this works. So if I click on a WWE video and I back out and I go in and I back out and I go in, doesn't matter how many times you back out and you go into the video, you're going to get an ad. But say anybody else, right? Anybody else lower than that on the rung, you back out 2 or 3 times maximum, and then you have to watch the 3 videos or skip anything. So, yeah.
I wonder how closely linked they are to the actual WWE advert break times. I wonder if there's a little signal on their feed, because they just obviously film it, send it to YouTube or whatever. So when they go into commercial, I wonder if YouTube can pick that up and just be like, oh, they put an advert there, so we'll put an advert there. We'll hear. I mean, it wouldn't be that difficult to do, so I wouldn't be surprised if, because it's so many, that just sounds like how WWE would normally put adverts into their
we
programs.
know they're using AI for things. So if you don't think they're using AI for ads, you got to be crazy. And trying to figure out all the best possibilities to do to push all their crap. But that's why people are like, this stuff is soulless. It's because they have machines running everything. That's what I think. And the money, of course, the cookie cutter nature of everything. But like Oracle says here, like Leguizamo, such a hypocrite. Hell of an actor, though. I hated Land of the Dead, but he was good in it. Yep. Land of the Dead did kind of suck. I don't like zombies that can do things other than like eat people. That's
What
all
were they doing in What were they doing in Land of the Dead?
You know, they're all smart and shit and figuring things out. Even if it's a handful of them, I don't want that.
I can't remember the last one that I watched when I was like, right, this is me done with it now, was similar sort of like vein, but it's where they were like, there was a butcher with a fucking carving knife and they were walking underwater. I think it was in New York.
Yeah, that was it. That's only
that one. Oh, right, all right. I couldn't remember them like operating anything. But just they were all carrying items and they were smarter. And I was like, oh, this is just going to get fucking really stupid now. And I like when films like made like a twist on the zombie, like when you've got Evil Dead where the Deadites, so they're more like demons, or like 28 Days Later where it's like a rage virus where that's why they're so fast. Yeah. That fucking that first one, I saw that at the cinema a couple of times. That first one was really good.
Yeah, I haven't seen those latest two, but You know,
No.
again, I'm hearing it sucks, don't bother, oh my god, the end, blah blah blah. But I got to see it for myself so I can do it. You know, really go through this like an analyst. But we got the Running Man I was talking about. Did you hear any of that? So
I've just heard a couple of people's criticisms of it, but I've not watched it. I saw the
right,
trailers.
I
And the
just
trailers
watched it
came out.
last night, and it's not bad.
Mm.
You know, I see where it is. It's a B movie version of the Running Man, the old one, but they updated it so it doesn't look bad. It doesn't like look like a B movie. The certain acting isn't as great, but then they have like some fucking quality actors all through this thing. It's kind of crazy. I'm like, I thought this was a bad movie, and then I see all these recognizable actors. If you watch it, you'll know exactly what I mean, because it like legends like pop up, and I'm like, you're in the new Running Man, like what? But it wasn't bad. If you like me, you grew up on 80s action stuff, it's all ridiculous, but it was entertaining. So that's what I got out of it. Way better than what people said. It was idiocracy with a lot of action, violence stuff. So cool.
But did they change much from the original?
They did. They changed a lot, which I think it was done in a good way, actually. The difference was, and I'm not really giving anything away, but I would say the main differences were, what were the main differences? A few black characters changed over, you know?
But
Like
they didn't change the plot in any way.
Yes. Well, I mean, the way they hunted them down wasn't like a game show where you had like acres of land that was owned
Right.
by, and it was they called it the network, and it was much bigger, like almost like a government figure, and it was more like I wouldn't even call it political, but it was more just like based in like real world, and everybody was really stupid, like idiocracy in a way.
Right.
And it just, to me, I could see the future going like that. It seems ridiculous where like there's this one TV station that is like running everything, like a mega corporation, because they're the ones telling people what to eat and what to do, you know, what to watch, and you know, all this shit. So, but it was ridiculous. So it's like almost like Judge Dreddy, you know, in a way.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, it's going back to our earlier point with like Star Wars and all the other things that have changed. If you don't know, or if you can detach yourself from what the previous one was about, or you haven't seen it, then you can have a great time watching a lot of these things. But then if you have that knowledge of what the previous one or the real one or whatever was, it can sometimes just be really difficult to sort of like enjoy it, because it's like, you know what it was based on, and it's like, why not just make your own film? You've changed so much. You've used the name to sort of sell it, rather than just having sort of like the confidence to just make your own thing. Because if it's as different as, to me, as it's sounding now as what you've described, then yeah, they could have just made a different film and just called it something else and been like, here's our sort of original film. We're not trying to piggyback off of like something else.
yeah, it's if I could just explain it to people that haven't seen it, it's a popcorn movie, I guess what you would say. You shut brain off and you take in the nonsense, and it was pretty good. I liked it. What is this? I don't even know if I can put that up. They kicked me off for less. But Oracle says Jack Posobiec declared a gay jihad on Star Wars that absolutely no one gives a fuck about. I do know Posobiec. Yep. He's another one of those super trustworthy guys out here in our politics scene. Yep. I don't trust any of these people, bro. I mean, it's unbelievable that anybody trusts anybody. I mean, the only one I can kind of trust is Thomas Massey. And that's because he's in office with these people, but at least he's playing the part of like, you know what? And it's almost like he is playing a part like everybody else, where it's like Ron Paul's aged out, so now he just does a podcast, but he's basically Ron Paul. Like he would be doing whatever Ron Paul is doing, or vice versa right now, you know, with because everything's so crazy, and they're calling things hoaxes that are clearly not. And he's trying to show the people this stuff and maybe get some answers or maybe accountability from some others, and they're just not going to do it. And it just feels like I'm watching another show. So that's how I take all that in as well. So I do know all the players, though, like that Jack. Yeah, Fat Jack. All right, my bad, Doc. I don't want to get you in trouble. That's right. Don't get me in trouble. I don't want to lose my channel. Can't lose my channel ever.
It's fucking terrible just how people are just panicking and just self-censoring at this rate because they're just letting an AI device just scan everything and be like, "Yep, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong."
Yep.
Like,
you know what's scary? Before you get it, I don't think they want kids to know how to read anymore. A lot of them can't read. And I think if you just go into the future with a whole generation of people, and it may not be even the youngest generation, but say like their kids or grandkids, when they don't know how to read anymore because AI is just talking to them and telling them everything, and it's Fat Jack, that's when we're fucked, like, completely.
Yeah.
Oh, we stay informed over here. And I'm not saying I'm right about anything. I'm sure I'm wrong about a lot, and I've been wrong a lot about stuff in the past, but I don't just trust anybody. That's my whole thing. I'm always going to keep my mind open to what you think something's ridiculous. Trust me, my mind is open to way more ridiculous stuff than the normal person. Because listen, everybody, we're alive right now. We're like seeing and hearing things. Like, I don't even, like, this to me is even just insanity to think that, like, I'm just going to be told by other people that just showed up here how everything works. And what they say is absolute fact. Is you got to be an idiot to think that. Nobody knows what's going on. Even the people you think that are running things, they don't really know what's going on. So take that, Illuminati. So Rousey came back and said, well, she did an interview. I'm aware that women are headlining in WWE because of me. So she's making herself, getting herself over with everybody again. She's really good at that, Danny.
Yeah, some good heel heat, though.
It's like former legendary fighters don't like her. Who said it the other day? Oh, Rampage Jackson, of all people, But, he's personally never did anything where, like, his son did. So, he gets it to a certain extent, I think, like life in general, I'm saying. But he said, when Rousey was brought up, he's like, I didn't really want to say this on stream, but, whatever. She's not good with the workers around her and employees and people doing things, probably makeup and, people that work with the UFC. She's apparently one of those superstars that, trashes the little guy in the working class that are just there to do their jobs or whatever. But she's a superstar. At least that's how Rampage put it. So, and I don't think that's unbelievable either. That's the vibe she gives off too.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to see how she's just had, like, she had a big push, didn't she? And she's obviously got a lot of talent, but she had a lot of help from promoters and things like that and setting up the right fights for her. And it's the same with anything when you're new to, like, a business or, the business side of it, and everyone's just blowing smoke up your ass, and you get used to that sometimes and you just don't shake it off. But with regard to her coming back and just acting like that, I don't know what else she would do. She ain't coming off as the baby face no matter what she does, so she may as well just be a dickhead about
it. Yep. Get well, Ronda Rousey. I wanted to bring up this one other thing, if I can actually get this to move. Oh, here we go. So back to this Odyssey business. Where is that? Did I click on it already? I might have. Anyway, the Odyssey movie. You got Leguizamo. You got I think he's in it too. You know, a guy that says nobody should be playing this part or that part except for, you know, people indigenous to the land or whatever.
Right.
And he's doing it. Travis Scott, who's one of the, you know, he's one of the worst rappers too. And anytime I hear about this guy, they act like he's a genius. He made his own beats and rapped on it once. It's like, whoa. It's like, okay, like who hasn't done that? And it's very repetitive and stupid. We've had a podcast all about that too. He sucks. He helped ruin our wrestling along with John Cena and the rest when he was really trying to ruin wrestling.
Sounds like that would almost ruin wrestling.
So now he's here to ruin your Odyssey movie, and then there is is it a female actress that is transitioned into a male that is playing like the Brad Pitt role from Troy?
Oh, I don't know if that's true or not, but that was the word on the internet a little while ago. But it may have been just a bit of AI jiggery pokery.
Because that would have been insane, like really insane. Like
I mean, it's possible, but I'm just saying. I think it was just someone winding everybody up because they knew how people would react to it. But it is possible, so that's why a lot of people will have bit into that. But yeah, it was meant to be Ezra Page.
Yeah,
you see, you give them a nickname, and it's easy either way. You can't get it wrong. And because I've forgotten which way round it is, because they're both sort of like, which way round is it? Elliot. It's Ellen to start with. Now I was trying to think of Page's bloody. It's Ellen. It was Ellen Page before. What she went as before?
Page.
No, the actress.
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
The Brad Pitt role. The one we're talking about, the Brad Pitt role.
Oh, okay. I saw that movie so long ago. That's like an old ass movie now. But we got the Oracle here, Rampage, around the clock streaming, detrimental to his psyche, crashing out normies for asking him simple questions. Shouldn't do that when you're a trained MMA fighter and former world champion. I think a lot of that might be put on too because he knows he's streaming. You have to be stupid online to get something cooked up, get some drama going. So I think I would say almost all of it that's what that is. But when I see these people like Neon and shit on here, do you know Neon? I know I name dropped last week up like a bunch or the week before, and you guys were like, huh? Who are these people?
Yeah, no, not off the top of my head.
So Neon is some like nerdy, like Asian kid or whatever. And I have no idea why he's famous or has a thing going on his stream. I think because again, it's all about if you're live 24 hours a day, you just tend to pick up steam. Plus, he's nerdy, right? So he really went into how like he managed to blow his YouTube channels up, and he gamed the system like any way he can, or any way he could. So, you know, he would comment to himself like 20 times a day, or do all this weird shit and to test things out, right? Like we're doing today with this portrait, but that's what got him to this level. So now he just goes around and makes clips of him living his life, which is kind of not interesting, like to anybody. It is to somebody, I guess, but maybe those are fake viewers because everything's fake these days. I don't know. I don't even know. Yep. That's why I don't know what even to talk about anymore. None of these people are interesting or talented enough to be referencing. If we had a podcast in the 80s with all the fucking people doing shit, could you imagine that? Or going to like a Van Halen shows with possibly one of the greatest guitarists ever, or Michael Jackson, or Mike Tyson and Michael Jordan, and like all this like real shit happening, but it wasn't like super accessible, so you had to be there to experience it, and then or at least watch it on a little tiny TV.
But you'd appreciate the difference then. If you had to watch it on that tiny TV, you'd be like, it's not like the real thing, but, at least we'll just make do with it. Whereas now it's just pumped through directly through your screen all the time. You don't have to move. It's just Homer Simpson in that in hell with a donut machine, just
Yeah, and we've gotten to the point where it's just doom scrolling for most people. They just keep scrolling. Oh, nothing holds my attention anymore. You get like 3 seconds in, they're like, no, gotta keep going. Gotta keep, I'm gonna find the next big thing here. And then the next big thing never comes. You know, they get a dopamine hit for a couple seconds and it's gone. It's sad. It really is sick. We're done. We're so screwed, Danny. And it's funny that we can notice these things and how bad the world is just through entertainment itself. It's kind of crazy. Mm-hmm. See what the chat has to say. Oracle, all about the digital clout. That's all it is now. This Chud the Builder guy, have you heard about him, Danny?
Yeah.
He's going around, and I know, I get it. A lot of white people, they get a kick out of it because it's not them doing it, but they get to see somebody else do it and not have to face any repercussions or anything. So I kind of just found out about this guy only like a week or two ago. And he's always, he's getting into it with people and harassing black people and calling them names and this and that. And I just keep thinking to myself, anytime I see any of these things, I'm like, it's only going to end one way or another. You're going to end up dead or you're going to end up in prison around a lot of black people. And either way, it's almost like, what the fuck? Like, is this guy a fed? But I don't think, or just, I think he's more of a useful idiot. So he may be being used by feds, in my professional opinion, expert opinion over here. But, the Yosemite Sam mustache and the whole gimmick, it's so hack. It's the same thing when I talk about certain people in the Dabbleverse, like they're comedians, but their catchphrase is the N-word and stuff. That's hack, bro. So these are some of the celebrities on Kick and all these other platforms that we're actually on right now. They go around and they call people slurs, and then I see people online going, well, it's free speech. And he's exercising the free speech. You don't understand what's going on. And it's like, don't you understand what's going on? I get you're trolling. Like, this is all a massive troll. And it's like, no, he really did nothing wrong. Something bad. Are we all really fucking children? You have to explain how life works to everybody and what not to do and how to treat everybody. Because, listen, the shit you put out into the world, it comes back, especially now. And especially the way everybody wants some of the clout. So if you get a big name out here, everybody's going to want a piece of that by fucking shitting on you, beating you up, killing you one way or another. So I'm just saying, this Chud the Builder guy, I just think you're a useful idiot, not a complete fed like some people online think. And I think in a way, in this country specifically, they want race riots. They want there to be more separation of everything. Females and males and, blacks and whites and this and that. Let's separate everybody. And then you just take them out one by one.
Yeah, no, I agree I don't think this guy is a plant in that sort of way. I just think he just wants the reaction, and he's filming, and he knows other people are filming, and he's just trying to get as much attention as he wants. And he's maybe thinking if he does it in such a public place, he's not going to get like the worst kind of consequence. But people have a right to say that and test those theories, but then you've also got to expect some people might retaliate in a way you're not expecting or prepared for.
Especially over here. People are carrying over here. So it's like watching people jump into cages with like lions and stuff. It's like, well, all right. I get why people think it's entertaining, but is it really? Think about how, again, this is what's so bad for society. It's like this type of thing shouldn't be promoted in that way. And I'm sorry to sound like an adult or whatever, but What good is going to come out of Chud the Builder doing anything? Nothing. He thinks he's going to, and there are people, he's bringing the people together and he's dapping up certain black people. You get it. You get what I'm doing. You're not going to get everybody to understand what you're doing, you know? And it really doesn't matter either way. So I hope it was worth it, because now he's looking at fucking like 65 years or some shit.
Yeah.
Because there's so much hoopla over this. And of course, I don't even think this is a white-black thing in this specific case, because it's always, you know, what about this and what about that? Well, how about we focus on this one thing? Because everybody's so focused on it, now you're going to be sentenced to 1,000,000 years, and it's going to cost you millions of dollars in bail. And, you know, because you brought attention to it. You yourself are bringing attention to all this. So I can't say I feel bad. I do understand all the nuances of everything that's going on. But again, people just really got to get it together as far as like the us versus them shit. There's really one overall us versus them, and it ain't each other. Ain't any of you other broke motherfuckers out here. Nobody else out here really controlling or doing anything. We got to go to sources of our pain, right? Everybody's pain, as they sick each other on each other out here. Let me introduce myself, right? I don't know what the fuck I'm saying today, Danny. I have another one. Anyway.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
There's two stories we might not be able to talk about, but I could reference it really quick because I think they're big stories, but they're kind of funny stories.
Oh, because of YouTube not liking certain topics.
Oh, right. And, well, I'm trying to get back in it's all fuzzy on my screen.
No, it looks crystal clear on mine.
Really?
Just being bitch.
What? There we go. Thank you, Hogan. So, real quick, I just want to point out two stories. Disney cruise creeps.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Would you like to tell us, so you might even know a little more than I do?
I can't remember. No, all I know is what sort of people were apprehended, and it was a larger number than you'd like to think. Have you got the number written down there of how many?
I don't, but I want to say it's in like the teens.
Yeah, I was going to say 20-something.
Maybe even in the 20s, yeah. All working on a cruise ship at Disney. So cool, right? And people, again, not everybody, but there's a lot of the Disney millennials, you know, that pay like out the ass to go to Disney and stuff like that. And it's just very odd. And I remember bringing up a Disney ad that I actually saw on YouTube, and it was like all these middle-aged people that looked like they were from a certain, you know, type of culture. We'll put it that way. And I'm like, this is really weird that like Disney doesn't fuck with kids anymore like that. They're into the adults. But so we got that story, and it's kind of funny. The mainstream, again, they're not bringing this stuff up. They'll talk about anything else that doesn't matter. Because I'll put on CNN and Fox, and I want to know what they're lying about today and where they're like deflecting to and stuff like that. Going, oh, this is what they're talking about today, and it's always like nothing that means anything, right? When there could be like the biggest story in the world going on in social media, mainstream news, they don't talk about it at all. But the other one is the cars for kids. Now, anybody from my area specifically, but I think this is a nationwide thing because this is a story from like California. They had these awful jingles. 1-800 cars for kids. 1877, that's what it is. The worst. I would always change the jingle. Then they tried to put the kids singing rock music with it or anything. Right. So bottom line is all the funds, they made it look like it was going to all different types of Americans, right? But it was only going to one certain type of half Americans, if you're picking up what I'm putting down here.
Oh, right, yeah. I think I do. Yeah.
they're the only, and this is a huge, like, everybody knows that jingle. Everybody knows about turning your cars in to, and they like give all this money to charity, right? But the charity are people I can't talk about, Danny. I don't know, right? So I'm going to point that out too. And everybody's scheming and frauding the Americans, and they just allow them to do it. I mean, we got people in our own Congress. This Mike Johnson guy, the Speaker of the House, is coming out basically going, "What's the big deal? I think we should be able to do insider trading and stuff." And it's like it's over. We've jumped the shark. It's comical at this point. If you're not laughing at this, then you probably should be doing, something else, like what the old timers did back in, the 1700s, 1800s. They wouldn't put up for this. They would not be a fraction of this. They wouldn't be putting up with. Just a taste of this. They'd be like, "Where do we hang everybody? Where's your biggest trees?"
Yeah. Yeah, the sentiment's sort of like over here too, with a lot of people. Just
what else is there to do? Are we gonna vote harder next time? And nobody should do anything like that, right? But we got to try to figure out if that's not the thing to do, then what else do you do? What with the data center stuff that's over here? There's like almost like an arena full of people that show up from a town in the crowd, and there's 4 people, that's 3 representatives or whatever, that are completely owned by the corporations and have been paid off or whatever, and they're like, the crowd's like, no, we're not doing it, we don't want it, and they're like, all right, we're doing it.
Did you see those students from Central Florida University? There's some other words in between those. There was some, sorry to use the frame, but some boomer lady who was like dressed in their gown and everything to be like, "Look at me, I'm one of you," for whatever reason. But she was obviously like on the pay from someone, or she'd gone and got in with someone, and she just like started talking about AI being like the next industrial revolution to these Florida like late teens, 20 somethings, and they laughed, and then they started booing, and she was just like, "What? Oh," and she started to panic like fuck. And then she tried to be friendly with them again, and it's sort of like they were booing the shit out of her. And she was like, "Oh, do you remember like 5 years ago when we didn't have AI in our lives?" Because then she was about to like say something like, "Wasn't it terrible?" But before she got a chance, they all just started cheering, and she just was not expecting that pushback. And quite a lot of people are like quite surprised and impressed that the younger lot are just sort of like saying no to this shit, because they can see that their jobs that they've just got a degree for or currently working on a degree are probably going to get smushed by AI. So yeah, there's pushback in the younger folk too, which is good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Everybody needs to get along. This is what I'm pushing for. And I'm not saying you have to like that, say they're bringing people from other countries and forcing them into your lands and things like that. But you gotta also recognize that they may not have wanted to even be here in the first place, but they had to leave where they were because of our countries in the first place, because they're doing wrong by them over there and doing all the displacing and finagling of things. There's a book 20-something years ago called The Diary of the Economic Hitman. I can't recall a lot of it, but I would say read that and you understand how the world works like a lot better, because it's all like a big master plan to make things worse for us and then put us in a prison, just like System of a Down said in that prison song. They're building a prison right around us with these data centers and everything else. It's an open air prison. It's one ruled with technology, like I think Uncle Ted used to talk about, right? Remember him, folks? Yep. He doesn't seem too crazy now. I mean, the craziest shit he did was the obvious, the bombing of random innocent people. But again, I don't see how anything changes without the V word.
Have you seen the shit show going on over here with Starmer just like refusing to budge? He lost loads of local elections, so loads of like his party seats have just gone now. They got decimated in that. That doesn't change like the overall power, but it just shows locally what people are wanting, and they're rejecting his party. Like 80 or something of his own MPs have like called for him to resign, and it's just scandals and just bullshit, and he keeps getting caught lying, and he's just refusing to go, and everyone's just wanting him to fuck off now, but he's like, no, I'm just gonna keep doing this, and I'm just gonna keep fucking making a mess. And one of my favorites, I saw the Consuela, I think her name is, the maid from Family Guy, but it's his face on instead, and it's like, no, I stay here, I keep job. And it's just like that. He's not taking the hint. Well, he's not fucking daft. He's got a script to read, and he's got things to do. But how are we supposed to deal with that now? His own fucking MPs are like en masse like turning against him and saying, "Get out! Let's find someone better to lead our party." And he's not shifting. What? We've just got to wait till 2029, apparently.
Well, because I believe the representatives aren't in charge, and the government really isn't in charge. There's an outside force, call it whatever you want, and they pick and choose who does things. I mean, I just watched Kamala Harris run for president, and nobody fucking voted for her. Like, huh? And we just let that go. I mean, they bitched about it on TV for a couple weeks, and then we let it go. Again, you think the founding fathers or anybody even close to that time period would go, oh yeah, that's fine, we'll just memory hole that and forget about that too? It's just, the whole thing is, it's a show. It's just a show. That's why I can't get that mad about it. And maybe other people, they're worried about their getting $10 gas soon over here. They could care less. Yeah, sure, have representatives. They don't even know what that means. They couldn't spell representatives. So this is where we are, right? And I'm stupid. Got it. I'm a real American, just like this guy. I'm going to stand up for the power or something, fight for our rights, something like that.
Did you watch switch direction? Did you watch the Netflix documentary?
I didn't. Did you?
No, my cousin did. My cousin isn't like a big like keeps up with wrestling anywhere near as much as I do or did. But he was just sort of like saying that they've made it sad, and you've got to feel sorry for Hogan, and they've painted him that sort of light, and they go into like the drugs and the painkillers and all that, and pain and stuff.
The street.
Yeah, he said it was good. So from that perspective of someone that sort of like just casually into wrestling, it was good. So
yeah, I don't really feel I already know everything. I know all this stuff. So why do I need to have other people replay it? Did they have other like famous wrestlers in there, or was it just
they did? I saw they did like a 2-minute trailer or something a couple of weeks before it came out, and about a minute into it, there was like one clip of Bret Hart's interview, and all Bret said in the entire trailer was just, "He's a liar." And then that was it. No more Bret Hart for the whole fucking trailer. And I'm like, yeah, it's just gonna be Bret shitting on him, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, they just got him on there to bury him. He's probably like, thanks for that 100K, right?
Yeah. But they did overall just like paint him in like a sympathetic light, and no mention of time travel, like when he did Japan tours and managed to work like 450 days a year or something. And they didn't mention many of the other scandalous things. They just focused a lot on the pain and the painkillers and the street drugs.
Yeah, street drugs.
Woo! 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 Woo!
That's what Ric Flair said. And then he walked it back, like he does everything these days. Starts a fight with Ludwig Kaiser. Everybody's like, what are you talking about? Nobody even remembers what you were talking about. You had a beef with him? And he's like, no, he's cool. He's cool. Like, all right, got it.
Woo!
Calm down, Rick.
Woo!
he is like 400 and he has taken like all the headshots. So I don't know what anyone expects, to be honest.
He's doing a good job of being relevant, though. He still does commercials over here and
All right.
everything. And again, he's keeping his name in the news by just randomly fighting with people that don't even know they're fighting with him. Cool. Yep. Keep it up, Rick. People can say what they want, but at the end of the day, Hulk did a lot of good. I'm with you. Yeah, he was what was best for business. If not for Hogan, you might not get
Sports
any of this-
entertainment.
any of that.
You'd still have your pro wrestling. We'd still have our pro wrestling. I'm sorry to be that guy, but we'd still have our pro wrestling. If you're arguing best for business for sports entertainment, completely agree. That is what Vince wanted to change pro wrestling into. So yeah, that's up to the individual to pick. Sorry?
You don't think that people would have figured it out, that it was not
People
real?
knew.
I think a lot of people knew.
People knew, but they were happy to go and to play along. It's the same when they go and see a magician's sort of like show for like 2 hours or something. They knew it wasn't actually happening, but they were just impressed that, the disbelief was being suspended. So people knew, but it's got so daft now, and they don't. Even then, it in like the late 90s, it was still just over the top to the point where like people were like, oh, they don't take it seriously, and it's proper stupid fake fighting. Whereas if they still just like took it as seriously as they used to do, like pre-Hogan sort of like sports entertainment, I think a lot more people would still be interested. But there was like a lot of embarrassment attached to it once Hogan did his thing, and then even though they put like The Rock and Austin, which brought a bit of sort of like grit back to it, it was never the same.
That's true. I just remember like being a little kid and going over to certain friends' houses, and their fathers would have like the old NWA on in the background or whatever. And I would never really like even consider watching it because they all had like mom hair, and it looked old even for me at the time. So I remember thinking like, yeah, it didn't have that WWF at the time touch where I always talk about it. I think they're linked up with NBC over here, and NBC as a station always looked and sounded better than all the other stations. And the normal person probably wouldn't even be able to pick it out or the reasoning why, but the cameras they used and the audio they had was just so far superior when it came to everything. And it just kind of made, no matter what it went up against, look mediocre, even if they had like the gobbledygook or whatever out there, because it just looked cleaner. It looked like it was a professional, even though it was stupid, So
Yeah.
I would see NWA, and like you said, it was grittier and all this stuff, but kids can't relate to that grittiness, I don't think, as much, unless you were like alive in the 70s watching it, like Triple H or whatever.
But that's the thing. It was, excuse me, with the Hogan era, it was sort of like shifted to like focus primarily on children for merch and like addiction sort of levels and that. Whereas before it wasn't. Kids could still enjoy wrestling, but it was one of those things where they'd hear swear words. So mum and dad would have to be like, oh, you don't repeat that, but it's something you're going to hear because you're an adult thing. But with Hogan, it was Saturday morning cartoons in like the worst possible way. And a lot of the wrestling I'd see over here as a child, it catered to the same people because it's a lot of seaside sort of like vacation spots. So it would always just be like babyface, has all the same sort of like 5 moves of doom, wasn't necessarily the best worker on the card. But as children, you just saw the colourful outfits and the fact that you could sing along and run in and things like that with them. And that just, I wanted like Street Fighter. Do you know what I mean? I didn't want the comical sort of childish side. So once I sort of like saw that there was different sort of like versions of it, I'm like, oh, this stuff's great. And then this kiddie stuff's crap. Anything you'd see with like Giant Haystacks and Big Daddy, their stuff was just anyone. You could have grabbed anyone from the locker room to do their stuff. They just wouldn't have been a big giant fat thing. But there were so many other people that had work on like World of Sport Wrestling that were like really good technicians or really good psychologists, but they got no attention really because it was all just our version of like the Hogan sort of like thing. And yeah, there's a place for it, but when it just took over the biggest company and then just turned it into that, look what we've got now, it's gone bad. But to your previous point with reality sort of side of it and people getting into it, I think that's why a lot of people like UFC and the other mixed martial arts sort of like boxing cross promotional things, even if they don't know it's completely real, they're still willing to sort of like watch and enjoy it because they're taking it seriously like it's a fight. And I think that's one of the reasons UFC is sort of like picked up even more than it originally did with just MMA style people.
I think UFC, to me, again, it's another one of those things. It's just not exciting anymore because they don't have the characters. They don't really rely on that as much, it seems like. It's almost like they want to. They got, Sean Strickland, and that's it. All their big characters they even had in the 20 teens are all doing like bare knuckle fighting and all this other random shit that has nothing to the wrestling there that Hogan and Bischoff started. Like, that's actually entertaining, but you can tell they're very noobish. They don't know it. I watched one like a month or two ago, and it held me. I even watched the female matches were good, all this stuff. It's just then they would do cringe shit like bring a little kid out with his father and go, "We gave you." Oh no, they had a little kid come out with one of the champions in the main event, which is fine. That's fine. But then they did like a whole interview in between matches. It must not have been the main event, where they're like being like, "Isn't this great? You got to do this and you're doing that, and we did this for you." What I'm saying is like they're trying to do the WWE thing where it's like you got to be quick with these things. Now you got this parent standing with their child on the mat for the second time now, and they're just trying to be like, "Look how nice we are. We gave this kid tickets, and we were letting him run up the ramp and all." It was like this whole thing. I'm just like, enough. So they do, and then they pump up the Christian stuff, which is fine, whatever. But it's like I'm in a sporting event, and you can tell like all the American guys had a certain singlet, and all the foreigners were in like the red singlet, like the bad guy singlet, and all the Americans won. And then in the main event, where this superstar new Dagestan guy was wrestling or whatever, and he's in this red outfit, and it went to like 4-4, but I'm not like that into wrestling where I know the rules where I can say something's rigged or not. But the American wins, who never beat this guy before, right? Like 0-3 versus him. He wins this one, and he won the tie. So it was 4-4, say, and then it should go to an overtime, right? Or one more round or something. And they go, "Nope, not in our rules. Our rules state the last one to score the point wins." And everybody's like, "Huh?" And I'm sitting at home going, "This is the first time I'm watching this." I'm like, "Huh?" And I'm like, this is like several times now I'm going, "Huh?" Watching this, like all the different little segments they got. I'm like, this is the shits.
It's the shits.
But it really wasn't. The matches themselves were good, but the organization of RAF, Real American Freestyle Wrestling, which you can find on Fox, right? Pay me, Fox, white nationalist Fox News. And if they get that organization together, it would actually be really fucking good. But they have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Because I can see where they're coming from to be like, "Oh, well, he was the last one before the bell," and it's like, yeah, but then he was also equalizing. He was currently down before that, so although he was the last one to score a pinfall or whatever, he was only evening it out. He wasn't getting any sort of advantage.
But he was
so if anything, you'd give the other guy, because he was the last one to have the advantage.
Listen, we're about fairness in America, right? That's what I thought. What the fuck with these sports? Everybody can break the rules all of a sudden in pro sports? We're just breaking the rules and going, "Nope, that's our rules. That's how we do it over here." And I'm like, well, maybe I won't watch again then. And I never watched ever since. But even though I liked it, it just, if they had their, crossed their T's and dotted their I's with this thing a little bit, I would have probably been like, when's the next one? But I'm like, you just fucking gave the main event to some guy because he scored. And who knows if he should have even had that? I'm thinking, because I'm no expert in this, earmuff wrestling game, but who knows if they fudged up a few other rules for this guy. So I don't know. Just get it together. Eric Bischoff, come on the show. We'll talk about it. You represent them. We got to fix this thing. This does not look good for you. Come on. You need zero creativity for a wrestling league. But they have a pay-per-view or whatever coming up soon with all the big name UFC stars. Every country last name Stan will probably be represented in this. All the Stans. And,
Every Stan.
Yep. Man. So I'm gonna give you a little Marvel rant, a little MCU. We're going back into entertainment again. No more wrestling. Probably not for today. I do have a few wrestling notes that we can get to, but nobody gives a shit about this here. Nobody cares about wrestling. It's boring. I'm not going to talk about the shows necessarily, because go watch the highlights. You'll be bored to death. There's nothing going on.
They don't care about wrestling either.
Nope.
They just want pop stars and shit on the show to show off.
But I did have the Disney Plus deal for a while because I got WrestleMania, so I caught up on a whole lot of the MCU and everything I missed out on. So first things first, I watched Captain America Brave New World. Again, another movie everybody's like, it's the shits, it's stupid, it sucks. It wasn't bad, okay? Would I say it's like, oh my God, it's a great movie? It's not. Not a great movie, but I do like Harrison Ford in it. He was good. And believe it or not, I'm at an age now where I actually want quality acting, and I recognize it. When you're younger, and you're taking in all this stuff, I was never really all caught up in who's making me believe harder, because I just kind of took it all in the same way. But now that I'm older, I don't want to be I don't want my time wasted with non-pros, is what I'm saying. So you got Harrison Ford in the movie. He fucking nails it every time. We just don't have real actors and actresses, like real celebrities, Danny, you know what I mean, anymore. And they're being relegated to these movies that everybody is saying is the shits when they actually are good in them. Like the Running Man movie. I'm like, there are actually some good actors in it, and they do well in it. So that's one key. I like how they filled in Falcon with his old outfit. So now there's a new character that will probably be in Avengers for like a split second or whatever. We got the Red Hulk, which is cool at the end. I knew that was coming. And the vibranium suit, I liked all that. I'm accepting whatever this guy's name, and I forget the name. Mackie, is that it? The actor? I can accept him as Captain America for the storyline. Do you know what I mean? Like, because that's the only way to do it. If I'm going to try to be entertained by this. Otherwise, I'm not just going to be having rolling around in my head, he's not Captain America. He's not. And plus, Captain America is coming back anyway, right? The real one that everybody wants. But as far as like making a spin-off movie that I would call this, I don't think it was bad. Just like the TV show with the Winter Soldier. Not super memorable, but it wasn't bad.
They're pushing it with the comics with him as well. It's just, you get a Captain America comic and it's like, Captain America's black. Have you seen? He's black. And it's really aggressive and obnoxious. And it's not just him that they do it with. They do it with a lot of other of the swaps that they've done. But it's one of the more obvious ones. And the sad ones, I know quite a few people that like Falcon, and it's like, Falcon was fine. Why are they doing this? It's just, it's sad. But it's just like, they go around just brown crayon in the comic books and be like, we'll just change you there, and then we're going to draw a pair of tits on you. There you go. Oh, you
didn't
don't
even like the vibranium outfit?
No,
That was a cool little touch if you're going to do something like this.
Lazy booking, as Jim Cornette would say. That's just all this is. Sorry. The first, I've said to you before, the first few sort of live action films were sort of like quite cool looking back, and they were nice little, just give like a wider audience like an origin story, so then they can check out the comic books and whatever. But to just make an entire industry out of just milking them every fucking 2 months is just, it's tired now. They need to stop.
I think they may be slowing down with it. I bet you this Doom Avengers will probably catch people off guard and be good, because it absolutely has to be. If it's not, just fucking wrap it up. Like the rest of it's all done.
They've said that about the last 2 years worth of films or more, maybe since Endgame. They're just like, if you're not going to come anywhere near Endgame, what's the point? But then they have had a load of stinkers, and they still keep going. They're just going to keep pushing forward because they're just advertising their actors and their little causes, and losing a bit of money isn't the biggest thing to them because they want their influence and they want their advertising, and that's what they've got. They're going to push their people.
I saw a Doomsday trailer supposedly online, and it was AI, of course, but it was AI and it was made to look like it was in a theater as a trailer.
Right.
And it looked great. It really did. Well, and all they had to do, and this is all you got to do for me, really, make it into like a real comic book movie. So they're showing you Doom fighting Thor, and they're showing you the chick there from Black Widow, fighting Mystique from the X-Men, like kung fu moves and stuff. And sure, you can tell it's AI a little bit or whatever, but it's like, that's what I want. I want little 5-minute pockets of fight scenes every like 15 minutes in this movie, where if you're bringing all like Cyclops back from the old X-Men and all these random Marvel characters, they better be blowing shit up and fighting. Like, otherwise, I swear to God, if it's another Marvel Avengers movie with 1,000 different characters and they all just say one word, and that's it. It's like, get out of here. No, we want, and it could be totally random. Like they had a Gambit fighting the Shang-Chi guy. Do that. I'm fine with that. It'll look dope. Like, do all kinds of stuff. Have random matchups, and then all your future movies are basically action movies, which these should be. And not just full blown. They're constantly explaining how they're gonna time travel and do this and do that, and have all these little emotional moments where they're talking to each other. Fuck all that. Like, you can have that here and there once or twice a film, but let's fill this up with, we're beefing over this thing, and whoever wins gets to restore timelines and things like that. All that's very, very secondary to Dr. Huge. Kung Fu. Let's go.
I'm afraid that the ladies that write these things nowadays do not appreciate your tone, young man. I think you should
toxic masculinity.
Wind your neck in a little bit and let them tell their stories.
Yeah, they're like, they go out to lunch and shit in some movie. I mean, I'm not even shitting you. They really do this stuff in like Marvel movies and in the comics now. They're like having full blown gala events, like. They pull the size out and all the weird ninjutsu stuff with your mutant powers and things, and kill each other, or at least try. That's all we're asking for. Yep, they can't even do that. I'll tell you, I might have told you before, and the people out here, Thunderbolts A+. That's what a Marvel movie should be. And I'm not saying it's like an all-time banger or this and that, but a comic book movie. And that Thunderbolts movie, that's what it should be. It wrapped up nicely. It was what it was. You even had the female lead and all like pushing all that stuff, and it didn't feel out of place. And it's funny because it's like the one thing that they had going, I think, for them, and they kind of just brushed that to the side. And we're like, no, how about this? And how about all this other horse shit? No, Thunderbolts, that's where it was at. I wouldn't say excellent, but I'd say very good. Moon Knight, which I wanted to like, I finally finished all of that. I forced myself to watch the last 3 episodes, and thank God there was only 6. For something that's supposed to be like a darker themed thing, you got this mentally ill guy that has like 3 different personalities, who also is possessed by a moon god fighting other gods and going to Egypt and all this old mumbo jumbo and reptilians and shit. It was very childlike. I felt like I was watching a Disney movie of Moon Knight. So
What in means of like violence and gore and stuff like that, that was all gone, and it was just
shot it.
It was presented like, right, I see.
The way they presented everything was very like kids movie. Like the music even felt like that, and then you would see like, you know, a random god pop up, and trust me, if you ever see even just one episode, you're gonna go, I get it. It's like the Disney touch on it.
Right.
Like just picture any Disney live action movie. That's what that a Moon Knight version of that. When it should have been more like Blade, you know, a rated R, dark themed. You're dealing with like possible demons and shit. So it's like, come on, right. But Daredevil, of course, great. Me and the Sleaze talked about that before. Just Karen is ridiculous. And of course, she took down one more Brock Lesnar before the season finale last week, and I'm just like shaking my head. Like fucking, she's one weekend with Daredevil, right? And she's beating up the bad guys. She's like 6'2", 100 pounds. And also, The Punisher: The Last Kill came out, which should be watched by anybody that likes action, which I do. And it had to do with the Punisher Max version of the comic books with the female mob boss that he like whacked her whole family, and she was going for revenge and sent all the gangsters to his hood apartment. He was living in the projects, and so he's going around saving civilians, and he's basically, it was the realest version of Punisher they've done with whoever this actor is. I always forget, Shane from The Walking Dead, that they've done this whole time. So it all made sense to me. A lot of gratuitous violence. That's what I'm there for the Punisher. And we need part 2, part 3 of these Mama Antonucci, whatever her name was, to come back out, because eventually she loses her limbs too. She's already in a wheelchair because of the Punisher, but she loses her limbs and she still comes after the Punisher with her assassins. So, but give that a watch. It's like an hour TV show. And we talked about Doomsday. We talked about the Odyssey cringe. And we talked about Absolute Batman and the Absolute Universe for DC a few weeks ago, but it's seeming like it's saving comics in a lot of way. You know, I sell comics on Whatnot too, at Dr. Huge on there, DrHUGE. And yeah, they sell like hotcakes. There's a million different variants. People love it. I wouldn't buy it for these things to be more expensive in the future because there's so many prints of it. But
I was going to say, are they on the 8th or 9th reprint of it now?
It wouldn't surprise me if it got into the teens. But just the variants alone, I think they're up to like 90 plus, over 100 maybe.
Excessive.
It's amazing.
Excessive.
And then we got Jeremy Renner, the Hawkeye. Apparently he's leaving Marvel, and he was like, fuck them. They didn't stick up for him, you know, as far as like him trying to have his own solo movie. They gave him the TV show, right? Which they kind of killed him off and went, no, now Kate Bishop is Hawkeye, right? So he even said himself, it was like they were writing me out of my show as like a congratulations in a way. And he's like, that's not what I was looking for. I wanted like my own Black Widow solo project movie or something. and just how the character was misused. They mess with a lot of the actors and actresses. Apparently, it's not so fun to be working for Disney, and so he's going to the DC universe.
There you go. He's landed on his feet. I was going to say, wind your neck in. You're fucking Hawkeye. You're not Spider-Man. And whoever wants to think they're Spider-Man, they're not Spider-Man either. Hawkeye isn't that exciting. He got an Ultimate comic book series. There's an Ultimate Hawkeye for whatever fucking reason. I think that was a sympathy sort of like little gig. Because you got like, there's an Ultimate X-Men, there's Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Black Panther, the Ultimates, and then it's just like Ultimate Hawkeye, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing in there with those? Get out! Come on, you had plenty of airtime. Calm down.
He even made it into Old Man Hawkeye, I think, in the Old
Right.
Man Logan books.
I mean, I'm obviously against him just being like, oh yeah, look, we're gonna draw a pair of boobs on Hawkeye. Now you're a woman. Go. Pretend that this has been how it's been all this time.
Yep. I think he's mainly pissed about and just speculating. You know, he had an accident a few years back, and I guess Disney was just like, whatever. You know, he had that nasty accident where he almost like lost his life and had his legs chopped off or something like crazy like that. And Disney was like, cool, whatever, you're just Hawkeye, so we got Kate Bishop right here.
But also, they're Disney. What did you expect? The first two actors Disney signed were children. Children. What do you expect them to behave like? Come on.
Mm-hmm. Don't go on a Disney cruise, Hawkeye.
Mm.
And have you heard about this? There's another new universe. So now, since the Absolute universe in DC has blown up and they're starting to move books and stuff like that, Marvel's like, oh man, we got to do something. Because to me, even, Marvel's always been number one, but they're clearly haven't been hitting in years. And DC's killing it with this Absolute stuff. So Marvel is coming out with the Midnight Marvel universe. And they're going to have like a darker version of the X-Men where they're vampires and they like run New York City or something. That's supposed to be more gothic horror. Then you have the Fantastic Four, which is going to be a different four, obviously, or probably, you know, certain similarities and differences, but that's going to be more like cosmic horror. And then they got a Spider-Man who, and this never works for me, the Spider-Man that actually is a spider. So he like transforms into a real spider, but still like fights crime somehow like that. And I don't mind that they're trying something different again, like the Ultimate Universe. And but this is
why manga owns 57% of the market in the States. Manga outsells both Marvel and DC combined. This is why. Manga's like 57% of the American fucking... Yeah. Sorry, this is why. You just keep rehashing this exact same old shit all the time. There's like 20 or 30 different Spider-Man series at the minute. There's already like a man spider, and it's... They deserve to be fucking ridiculed, I'm sorry, but they do.
I picked up a book just 3 years ago, a Spider-Man comic that was him as a spider, and that was like the whole gimmick of it, is that he's like a man spider. And I know it was done before, but they actually had a series go for a while where it was just he was like that, and I guess it's already over. I don't know, they got another one coming, same thing over and over again.
The only time they tried something sort of new recently was they've got was it Astonishing Meals with Spider-Man or something like that. And I'm pretty sure the only reason that came about was when the DC head guy was getting interviewed and he mentioned manga and said, oh, well, manga is just, it's a medium over there. It's not a genre. So you have stuff like cooking mangas and things like that. And then like a week after he said that, the Marvel are just like, oh yeah, we're doing a Spider-Man does like Astonishing Meals, a cooking comic with Spider-Man. And I'm like, all right, yeah, where's that come from? Fucking hell.
Unbelievable stuff. Oh my goodness, Danny.
They're getting their asses kicked. Just enjoy it.
Yeah. I really don't. That's why I'm watching The Running Man lately. It's like, what else am I supposed to do? I get a little downtime to take in some entertainment, and I look around and I'm like, wow, there's really nothing. Like, what's going on? Where's my House of Villains season 4 coming on? Yep.
Watching Freyren at the minute. Journey's End. It's quite good, actually. I'm at the point now where every anime that runs long enough, they change the original intro and outro music. And it's a thing they do in Japan with it, because they use the anime to promote the manga. So they happily get like bands on to do cross promotion, and they just use the intros to sort of like promote the anime series. I don't like it, but I do understand it. I just would like, think it takes the character away from it. Like One Piece, for example, has like 40 different intro themes and videos. And I'm like, keep the same song, update the visuals for new characters and villains and scenarios or whatever, but just keep the original song. But yeah, any anime that you watch, once it gets to like 20 episodes or maybe like a second season, they're like, oh, we're going to mix it up and just change the intro and the outro. And that just happened for this show that I've just started watching. And I'm like, no.
Not this show. Maybe once every 2 years or so, I'll change it up. Yep,
But
can't do that too often.
imagine The Simpsons changing. You just couldn't imagine that, could you? Or even something shorter like Friends. If they just got like some little wimpy rock song every other year or something and changed it, it'd be like, no, it doesn't have that sort of like identity to it anymore. And it's
funny.
like my only sort of like proper grievance with anime. It's like the least favorite thing about anime is the fact that they change the intros and outros all the time.
Well, the Japanese people get it though. They are on something with that stuff, but yeah, for people that just consume things, no, they need to know what the brand is and they need to know what the sound is. But it's weird to me. I'm starting to notice, and this has been a thing for a while at movie theaters to get people out there. Have you seen these He-Man contraptions to eat popcorn out of and drinks? They're getting bigger and bigger. So now that you get the whole castle of Grayskull that you hold, and one of the pieces of the castle is the drink,
Right,
and then
I see.
they fill in the whole inside with popcorn. The drawbridge comes down like the mouth, and everything in the front. It's crazy. It probably costs like $100, like these cups and things that they have. But then I saw Mortal Kombat. They had a glowing cup. And then they have like a big fancy bucket that's a Shao Kahn helmet and the popcorn in it and everything. And first of all, I'm thinking, so you got all of these people taking all this just random merchandise and putting food in it without washing it or anything. Who the hell knows where this stuff is coming from or where it was produced, right?
Yeah.
And then also just the price. And then that's like the biggest like allure for people to go to like movie theaters lately, it seems like, because a lot of people that go, they're like, I might as well. I just spent $30 to come to a movie. I'm gonna spend another $70 on this cup and $100. Boom.
I just spent 30 quid on these tickets, so that's why I reach into my bag halfway through and there we go. Glug, glug, glug. I'll bring a little bottle of drink or something and some snacks of my own. Fuck those.
Yep.
It put me off going. I'd rather just watch stuff at home. I ain't paying those fucking prices. It's got ridiculous over here. Maybe not as bad as in America, but they still do all the merchandise, like extra bits you can get, and it's just, yeah.
You don't want the collector's edition Mortal Kombat 2 glowing cup?
No. And that's just when it's me going, or me and the missus. If you like factor children into it, and you've got 2 or 3, and they all want tickets, and they all want a drink, and they all want popcorn, and it's like, how expensive is fucking cinema nowadays? Dandadan's good, yeah. I haven't watched that yet, but I've read it. Like I'm way caught up, so it's like well in advance to what the anime is saying.
Yeah, the last anime I watched was, and not all of it, I still have to catch up on a bunch of it, was Cyberpunk on Netflix. Did you ever see that one?
No.
I heard it was good. It looks pretty good. I mean, that's why I'm there for anything anime generally, is if the art's crazy. And they got that down pat, because that game was great. Even if it didn't work the first year it came out. But I had it on PC, so that wasn't me. It worked for me. Not for you console people. So, did I show Rhea Ripley? Let's show her before we sign off here. So, there's Rhea Ripley. She's the face of the WWE. That's what Netflix said and put her on a poster. What other news did I have here? Oh, yes, Asuka. Looks like she's gone, Danny. One of your favorites.
Oh, dear.
Yep.
Oh, like kayfabe leaving.
They said out indefinitely. They were crying after their last match, too, at Backlash. And also, I believe she's leaving because Kairi Sane was released. And she's like, fuck this.
Right.
And also, they never got to finish the storyline between Kairi and Asuka, slapping her around and things. So, yep. I think she had enough.
Yeah, she's been with the company for a while, though, now. And I bet she's quite sensible with the money. I know she's just bought like that building that she's turning into like a fucking multi-story arcade or something. But if she's been smart with the money and she's just been traveling and sending it all home and just getting ready to just build something better once she gets back and she not retires but cuts her schedule down or something, then
and there's all the money Triple H just saved.
She'll be all right, I think.
Yep. Get well, Asuka. We'll see you again soon, probably when they break open the bank to bring you back for a Hall of Fame or something. Whatever. But, yep. Everybody. What was that?
It's a their loss.
Yeah, it is. She was awesome. She was my wrestler of the year last year in the Hugies. That, that whole bit that Stuttering John stole from me and called it the Dookies like a week later. Got it. But I'm an asshole. I'm a douche. Yup. Did you hear? They were trying to get me on to BYB, great subscribers of the Dr. Huge Show, one of the 500. And I think because Ava was on there and they want me to, settle this whole Dr. Huge's Ava business.
Don't do it. Reality will just tear. You'll just fuse and pull everyone else into the distortion.
Haven't you ever seen Time Cop people? Yeah. If I ever touched Ava, then we would like meld into each other or something like Time Cop. But no. Well, my thing is, listen, again, I'm going to have to say this every week. I know I said this last week, that I don't want sudden, hey, come on this show. You can always ask. You never know. I might be able to do it. So continue to ask. But if it's like midnight and you want me on a show or something, it's probably not going to happen because I've wrapped it up at midnight by that point. And also, I checked out the show. It was almost like they were trying to take me off the bench or something because I don't think Quad, who runs that show, he wasn't able to get on because of the internet or something. They had lost their guests. And then you got Ava that was just sitting there. And they're like, now just go on with Ava and, argue with her about her getting you off of John's show or whatever and not allowing you on, basically, which is all. That's what I assume. And that's also what is assumed by others, apparently. So I'm like, I'm not going to go in here and just argue about, because I don't give a fuck, first of all. I won't go do John's show. He doesn't even have a show at the moment. And also, if she's an advocate or whatever for John, then do that. Tell him I'm the worst. I don't give a shit because I don't plan on talking to you or anybody else. You think I'm going to go on there and jazz up your show and liven it up for nothing? And I'm not asking for money, but I'm just, you know what I'm saying, Danny? Like somebody's going to be out here floundering for an hour or two and they're just going to go, no, we'll get Dr. Huge on. That will be something. Who can we find? Anybody. Where's Jake Hudson, right? Who is like a mentally challenged person, literally. And then they also like, we'll get Dr. Huge on, right? He'll save us. No, I won't. Barely save this show, but we're doing it. I'm saving it. Past 500 subscribers. And I didn't pay for one of them, shitwayer. How about that?
And your shit works this week, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
You fixed it. So.
And we're never doing Portrait View again. The people have spoken. It was the shits.
It's the shits.
They hated it. They want it the old school way. So the people get what they want here. And if you want to book Dr. Huge, do it appropriately. I'm not a bench warmer. I'm a starter, okay? So I don't just show up for things when needed. You understand? So it's hard for me to get people on my show, so I'm going to make it hard for everybody else too. How about that, Danny? Right? Fight fire with fire. Yep.
Seems fair.
Anyway, thank you for joining me today and talking all this nerd business. We had to get the nerd business out of the way and all the entertainment stuff. And yeah, I got Paramount Plus for a month, and I'll tell you, I found nothing to watch on there. So,
did you watch the new series of Scrubs? I don't know if you
Scrubs.
Yeah, were you ever into Scrubs?
No. Scrubs. I haven't watched a sitcom since not even the early 2000s. I was watching sitcoms. Like the late 90s, really, is when I stopped watching sitcoms. Crazy, right? I never watched The Office. None of that.
No. I tried with The Office, but no. Scrubs to me was like the last of the long form 20-odd episode series, like decent sitcom before they stopped.
I've seen a few episodes in the mid 2000s, but nothing too crazy. But that's good, huh?
Yeah, it was one of my favorite things ever. But they've done like a couple of new seasons since they ended it with the 8th, and they actually wrote an ending for it. And then they've done 2 seasons after now. They did the 9th one like 2 years after the ending that they wrote, and then this one's like 20 years later. And I've only seen half of it so far, and it's fine, but they wrote an ending. It's not needed, and now you're just changing things that you said were ended, and lazy. But
yep. And am I saying Stuttering John pays for subs? No, I'm saying pretty much everybody else does in that whole sphere there. Yep. But not Dr. Huge. And yep, I can also do shows without clips or guests, Danny. Can you believe that? Just like Stuttering John. And I like the other talk besides wrestling. Yes, I think we're transitioning over here too, right, Ava? We're transitioning into a different show where we speak on more entertainment, more news. I do have more items here, but I'm not going to waste your time, Danny. Not with these Chud the Builders out here. Not no more. So we did it. We said it all, though. And the best 500 subs is, you guys are icons out here. You guys recognized the greatness of the Dr. Huge Show, the promo edits. Go check them out. The audio podcasts that you can listen to in the playlist. So much here. So hit the like button, especially if you're coming here in the future. Thank you. All right. Killed it. Catch me on Whatnot maybe sometime. I'll be selling comic books on there. Real life nerd, Danny, just like yourself. Or are we geeks? Or dweebs or spazzes? Combination?
Whatever other people decide to call me, if that's how you see me, then you say that, but I don't know. It used to be a thing people used to call you it, whereas now people call themselves it. Like 20, 30 years ago, I was like, oh, look at you, you geek, you nerd, blah, blah, blah. And you wouldn't go around telling people that you were that. Whereas now people, it's like the first thing on their bio, and it's like, okay, it's funny how that's changed.
Yep, blurds. You hear about that? Yeah. You know what a blurred is?
Yeah, it's racist. It's a silly play on words.
All right, well, that's it, everybody. I'll be on maybe Arc later. I'll be rating. I'll be on Whatnot selling comic books. I'll be on my OnlyFans, maybe with Paladin. We'll do a multi-stream or something, butthole showing, all kinds of stuff. Cool, Danny. Thanks for coming on. We'll talk to you later, brah. And everybody out there, hit the like.